Someone taps you on the shoulder. You turn around and a stranger is smiling at you like an old friend. They say a name that is not yours. They laugh. Come on, it is me. Do not be like that. And for one long second, you watch their certainty crack. Except it was not you. It has never been you. So here is the question that has followed us for as long as we have had faces. Somewhere out there right now, is there a face that belongs to you, worn by someone who is not you? The easy answer is no. Your face is yours alone. We say it like a law of nature. Everyone is unique, 1 in 8 billion. No two faces the same, like snowflakes, like fingerprints. And underneath that belief is real science. In 2015, a forensic scientist named Tegan Lucas set out to measure the limits of a face. She took the measurements of nearly 4,000 people. The distance between the eyes, the width of the jaw, the height of the brow, 8 precise dimensions in all. Then she asked a simple question. What are the odds that 2 people match on all 8? The answer was staggering. Less than 1 in a trillion. Put every human who has ever lived in a single room, and you still would not expect to find one exact pair. And that is no accident. A year earlier, a geneticist named Michael Sheehan at Berkeley asked it the other way around. Why are faces so different in the first place? The answer is in what we use them for. We read each other by face, telling friend from stranger, kin from outsider, in a fraction of a second. A species that lives that way has every reason to make no 2 faces the same, and for millions of years, selection pushed them further apart, lengthening a nose, turning a cheekbone, shifting the space between the eyes. Your face was made unrepeatable on purpose. So that settles it. Your double does not exist, except that number is answering the wrong question. Because no one has ever measured your face. They only ever look at it. Think about how a face actually reaches you. A face in the window of a passing bus. Half a second, bad light, a difficult angle. Your brain does not reach for a ruler. It does something much faster and much cruder. In a single flash, it decides, is that someone I know? Behind your right ear, there is a patch of tissue about the size of a blueberry whose whole job is exactly this. It lights up for faces, and for faces alone. And it is so eager that it finds them where they are not. In the cracks of a ceiling, in a wall socket, in the burnt corner of the toast. You have met people whose faces you could not describe and would still know anywhere. That is the machine at work. It does not store millimeters. It stores the feeling of a face, and a feeling is a much lower bar than 1 in a trillion. It is lazy, and that is its genius. It does not scan you in high resolution. It takes a rough map, where the eyes are, the nose, the mouth, how they are spaced. And if a stranger's map matches yours by about 90%, it simply rounds up. It decides you are the same person and throws away the tiny gaps, the very millimeters Lucas measured. You are looking at a heavily compressed file, not the raw data. To fool that machine, another face does not have to match yours down to the millimeter. It only has to land close, somewhere in the same neighborhood. And in a world of 8 billion faces, that neighborhood is crowded. So what are the actual odds? Here is the honest answer. For an exact double, the 1,000,000,000,000 twin, matching you point for point, the odds round down to never. But that is not the double you would ever meet, because that is not how meeting works. Loosen the definition by a hair, a face close enough to stop a stranger for a second, and the whole calculation turns over. The same crowding that makes a perfect copy impossible makes a rough copy nearly certain. Across 8 billion faces, the chance that at least one could pass for you, to a glance, climbs quietly toward 1. By one estimate that made the rounds, each of us has around 7 of them out there right now. 7 strangers wearing a version of your face. The catch is simple and a little sad. The odds that you have a double are almost perfect. The odds you ever stand close enough to see them are almost nothing. We know the neighborhood is crowded because people keep colliding. Go back to 1903, to a prison in Leavenworth, Kansas. A new inmate arrives and gives his name, Will West. The clerk stops. There is already a Will West here, and has been for years. They bring the first man out, and the room goes quiet. 2 men, unrelated, strangers to each other, standing face to face, the same jaw, the same eyes, the same name. The prison could not tell them apart by look, and back then a photograph and a name were nearly all it had. That one unbearable coincidence helped push the whole world toward fingerprints. Or come forward to 2015. A man named Neil Douglas boards a flight, finds his row, and stops cold. The person already sitting in his seat is wearing his face. The same beard, the same hairline, the same tired smile. They took a photo together, two strangers, one face, grinning at an accident that should not happen. It went around the world in a day. For years now, a photographer named Francois Brunel has been collecting exactly these people, unrelated strangers who could pass as twins. He has photographed more than 200 pairs. He is not looking very hard. They keep finding him. And here the story takes a turn no one saw coming. In 2022, a geneticist named Manel Esteler took Brunel's lookalikes, these unrelated doubles, into a lab. He ran their faces through the same recognition software used at borders and checkpoints. Many of the pairs scored as the same person. The machines could not tell them apart either. Then he read their DNA, and the doubles who looked the most alike turned out to share something real. Clusters of the same genetic variants, the same tiny settings in the code that builds a nose, a brow, the spacing of the eyes. Two strangers, born on different continents to different families, running overlapping pieces of the same instructions. Sit with what that means. The face is not woven fresh for each of us. It is assembled from a kit, a limited set of parts, dialed and combined. There are only so many ways to build a human face that still reads as human. And when you take that finite kit and stamp out 8 billion copies, the parts have to repeat. Not the whole face, but enough of it. Enough to seat two men coded alike in the same row of the same plane. Now imagine it is you, not a story, not a study. You turning a corner, and there is your own face on someone else's body, alive without your permission. People who have felt it describe the same thing, not delight, but a small vertigo. A crack in something you never thought to question, because your face was the one thing you were sure belonged only to you. Our ancestors felt it too, and it frightened them. To see your own double was an omen, a knock from the other side, a sign your death was near. The word we still use, doppelganger, comes from the German for double walker, the one who walks the world alongside you. For most of history, meeting yourself was the worst luck there was. So which is true? Are you unrepeatable, or are you everywhere? Both. And the whole puzzle dissolves the moment you notice it is a question about resolution. Zoom all the way in, measure the 8 dimensions, the millimeters, the exact geometry of you. And Tegan Lucas is right. You are a 1 in a trillion accident that has never happened before and will not happen again. Step back to the distance of a glance, the distance at which we actually live, and the doubles are everywhere, because at that distance, a face is not a measurement. It is an impression, drawn from a small and ancient deck of parts, dealt 8 billion times. You are at once the rarest thing in the world and a common hand. It just depends on how close you stand. There is something almost gentle in that. The double is not a thief and not an omen. It is a reminder that you were never made from scratch, that the recipe for your face is old and shared and passed from hand to hand, older than your name, older than your language. You are one more version of a face our kind has been making for a very long time, and still, no one else sees the world through your eyes, thinking what you are thinking right now. The face may repeat. The view from inside it never does. Somewhere right now, a person is living with your face. The same brow, the same tired smile. It is not you, and it never was. But you are so alike that if you passed on the street, you probably would not even turn around.